Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have a very Jonas Christmas movie. I was going to add an extra very in there, but no, there's only one very. But yeah, if you want your Christmas to be Jonas sized, this one is very Jonas based. It is an hour and 20 minutes long. It is from this year. It just came out a few weeks ago. And yeah, it's got the boys together for the first time in a little while. Nobody's pretending to be young adults or teenagers anymore. They're all grown up. It's obviously this is meant for the fans who've loved them forever since they were kids, since you were a kid and since they were kids. They are grown men in their 30s now, at least. Yeah, they're in their mid 30s. They have families, at least 2 out of 3 of them. Well, all of them have families. Of course, Joe is. They're not playing, by the way, everybody plays an idealized version of themselves in some movies, but they're all playing themselves, and their whole family actually shows up in this. Uh, it's kind of funny. Of course, Joe is single. He is divorced. He used to be married to Sophie Turner. They have kids together, but I don't think they showed up in this. He's in this version of reality. He's still single and a bit of a playboy and has never had kids. Was never married. To be able to touch on that would just be a little bit too, to bother with it. This is meant to be a fun, just wacky road film in a sense that brings them closer together just as they are sort of coming apart as a band. So the three brothers, Joe, Nick, and Kevin, they get to play with their identity. They get to bust themselves a lot. There's a lot of self deprecating humor, well, at their expense, which is redundant to say, but yes, it is. There's a lot of humor done at their expense. They at one point when they're okay, I have to get to that in a minute, but. What's the premise of the film? I'm not going to spoil everything for you. I'm only going to touch on a few major structural things when it comes to the story. The boys are in the men. They are in London doing the end of their tour, the world tour, and they they realize, hey, you know what? It's our last show before Christmas. It's the end of the tour. Let's get home for Christmas. And I can't remember which one. I think it was probably Nick. Sits down at a bar, and again, they're definitely grown up. And in fact, there's an entire sequence that there's music, of course, throughout this. There's musical numbers, not just them on stage rocking out, which we do see at the very beginning of the film and at the end. But at the beginning, we see them, Joe urging his brothers to go out. It's our final night of the tour. It's what we always do after we finish a tour. We just go out and have a great time together before we head home. And well, Joe being the single one, he's footloose and fancy free. The other guys are like, I gotta go see my kids. I gotta get home. I want to just relax. They're all grown up and mature. Joe, loose cannon, pushes them to go out, and things just get weirder from there. And it's a moment of just pure craziness as they realize, as we push them into the club scene. They get to go to a bunch of different bars. Again, something you would never have seen 10, 20 years ago on a Disney Channel type movie or Camp Rock. Yeah, I mean, by the way, before this, you should probably see a preview for the upcoming Camp Rock 3. I never understood why I mean, I'm sure there's probably reasons, but they build these films, these franchises in trilogies, and they only ever did 2 Camp Rocks. Well, there's going to be a new Camp Rock coming next summer, and it's produced by the Jonas Brothers and Demi Lovato, and I imagine they all make an appearance at some point. I don't know. But yeah, there's a new generation of camp rockers. Anyway, the guys are begrudgingly spending time with Joe. Not that they don't like him, it's just that at this point they're They're done. They're even all questioning whether they, in their own way, privately, whether they should continue doing shows together. Maybe it's time to break up. You never know. When it's time to end this, they're not kids anymore. They have responsibilities to family. Maybe they can just still do music, but without all the touring. What can they do? How will this affect their families, each other as brothers, and as how will it affect their fans? So it's something that weighs on one of them. And again, I believe it was Nick. Sits down at a bar next to a guy. Maybe it's Joe. I don't know. I can't remember. Sits next to a guy at a bar, and it turns out to be Jesse Tyler Ferguson. Well, not the actor playing Santa. Yes, there's a bit of magic in this story. That's how you know it's not a documentary. There's a bit of magic. The boys are trying to rush home, and they got the plane all booked for the next morning. But Santa realizes the world is better off with the Jonas Brothers being closer than going apart. So he puts a spell on the boys to basically ruin every effort they can make to get back to New York City, New Jersey, Vermont? I don't know. The Northeast. The Northeast. I know one of them still lives in New Jersey, and I think one of them's in, whatever. They're all over the place. They're still living somewhat close to each other, but yeah, they, what proceeds to happen is that, let's just say they can't get on that plane. In a way that's just so over the top that I couldn't believe it actually happened. I actually laughed out loud. I actually laughed out loud multiple times. This movie is funnier than I expected it to be. Than I expected it to be at all. Just, yeah, there's a romance angle. It's a musical, of course. It is, it's a road trip movie, as they are literally trapped in London until they're not anymore, and they're trapped in Europe. And so it kind of becomes a travelogue kind of thing where they jump all over Europe, and every turn when they're about to finally find a way out of Europe, off the continent, something else goes wrong. But certain things step in their paths to help bring them together. Even as they say things to each other, and make choices on their own that have the potential to push them apart. And I don't know them personally. These are all probably characteristic. I've seen all the other Jonas Brothers movies. I have, because of this series. I just don't recall that they were, other than what their personality types were. In this one, I think Nick is the one who is just sort of the one who keeps them all together, and he's very serious and fastidious about certain things. Kevin has always been, in the past, I remember this, he's always been played off as the dummy. Like, he takes all the abuse, in a sense, and all the, just like, he doesn't get taken seriously. And Joe is always the pretty boy out of the three of them. Not that any of them are not handsome in their own way. So I honestly, I didn't expect a mature Jonas Brothers movie. There's no swearing. There's no nudity, although there is swimming in Amsterdam in December in their underwear scene. One featuring Joe and Chloe Bennett. If you know who Chloe Bennett is, you might have seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She played Quake in that. But so yeah, if you get a chance, she provides sort of a romantic angle for the very single Joe Jonas in this. And there's even a duet. If you didn't know, she's a pop star in, I believe, in China. Yeah, she's released music. I don't think she's done a lot here in comparison, But yeah, there's a duet between her and Joe at one point. So yeah, we get a lot of some emotional, slower numbers, some what romantic stuff. We got Christmassy stuff. We got celebrations of just wacky, fun holiday stuff. But for the most part, this is actually, again, one not your standard holiday story, but at the same time, it's a ticking clock. We got to get home in time for Christmas, and the only person that's stopping us is us, with the help of Santa's magic. And they are all very aware of the tropes that we see in these types of films, especially holiday films, and it doesn't lean into let's just do kiddie, silly, teenage comedy. It's comedy that it actually hits right for adults more than I think little kids. I don't think today's kid, if they're 12 watching this, they'd probably get a kick out of watching them. But you as 12 is not the same person as you are in your 30s or 20s or whatever else. What now watching this? It's grown up. They've grown up with you. If you were their age when you first fell in love with them and their music. So there are plenty of cameos. I can't reveal all of them. There's some I just have to tease. There is another actor from Riverdale that appears in this TV series, Riverdale. I will say Billy Lord makes an appearance in this, a few appearances actually, as their sort of travel agent, the boy's travel agent. She is, if you don't know, Carrie Fisher's daughter, so that is kind of fantastic to see her in a very comedic role. She's done lots of other stuff, not just the Star Wars movies in the last sequel trilogy, but she's really, really funny in this. We also get Laverne Cox. We also get Andrew Barth Feldman, who I don't know, I can't remember what he was really in. I don't think I've seen anything that he's been in, but he has a bit of a grudge against Nick Jonas, and it is played out fantastically in a duet, let's just say, from Home Alone the musical. Yes, Home Alone figures into this movie in a way that I just never imagined they'd do. It is pretty fantastic. That scene alone is just worth it. There is Randall Park does make an appearance, as well as their manager, their whole family, their wives, except not Joe's. Their wives make an appearance, their kids make an appearance, their family, their dad, their nieces and nephews and daughters and sons, and they all have daughters. That's one of the jokes in this. It's like, we all have daughters, right? Is this a genetic thing? We should ask Dad. It is also some of the funniest stuff is just the toss away jokes, not the, hey, we're doing a bit here. It's some of the more reflective kind of jokes that really make this funnier than I would ever expect it to be. I shouldn't have been this entertained. It's not a dig. Normally, a Jonas Brothers movie is not intended for somebody like me, my age. I did not grow up with their music. I have seen all their films because of this series that I've created. But I really like this movie. I'm not ashamed to say it. I really like this movie. Beyond the cameos, the bits, the music is great. It is again, I don't think they're playing down to, a tween audience. They're not doing that anymore. Those kids who grew up with it are grown up. You might be one of them. There is a major celebrity. There's so many. There's so many. But the very first one we see is in the first minute of the movie, and it's a major Saturday Night Live cast member from the past, let's just say, who plays himself. And he just happens to be the biggest Jonas Brothers fan in the world. Be sure to stick around for and watch the entire credits as well, because there are sort of follow-ups to previous scenes throughout the film that are played out during the credits. So watch the entire thing end to end. It's worth it. Whether you're a fan of the band or not, I think you'd still get a kick out of this. It's not going to surprise you too much when it comes to how it's going to end. Yes, it's all going to work out in time for Christmas. I'm not ruining that for, anybody by saying that. But how it gets there, it's how they get there that makes a difference. And it works. It works. So that's all I can really say. I've said way too much, and I could probably go on for a while. I really like it. I had fun. All right, so what we got next is we're alternating. That was our last movie for the rest of this Christmas run. The rest of this stuff, there's one that's sort of a movie, but I've categorized as a documentary performance thing. I really don't know until I see it, but that's our Christmas Eve thing. I will get to that at another time. But our next thing for tomorrow is The Wonderful World of Disney Holiday Spectacular for 2025. We've done one of these before, I believe, possibly last year or the year before, but this is all just a big musical performance, usually done at the various Disney parks. Music, and just celebrities and things like that, and just getting a peek at the parks during the holiday season. Yes, filmed weeks ago. This is not it was not a live performance or anything. So if you want a live performance, Christmas Day, there is a parade kind of thing they're running on Disney Plus. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, watch for that. But we're going to be watching The Wonderful World of Disney Holiday Spectacular for 2025 on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.